Hey, Natalie, thanks so much for letting us interview you today. For the church, we're just going to take a couple of moments and we're going to ask Natalie just a couple of questions so she can share some words of encouragement about maybe a time in her life where she felt maybe her life wasn't in control as much as she would want to, and how faith played a role and different things like that. So, in light of that, Natalie, could you tell us of maybe a circumstance or a time in your life when you felt like your life wasn't in your control?
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say the stage that we're literally in right now with COVID, when all of this first started, I was trying to prepare myself. So I would research everything, research what the different countries were going through and everything. And so I was trying to prepare myself. I don't think it actually worked. But just sickness just really stresses me out. So if I know exactly what the symptoms are and what the different things are, I just find in my own head that it helps me a little bit.
Yeah. So what part do you find the most challenging kind of in this season that you're not in control? Like what's the most challenging part about that?
I would say the most challenging is probably just not knowing how worried to be, and just not having control over anything. Like we're literally, like Jamark kept reminding me, like we're literally living hour by hour right now. And so that just drives me nuts. And so not being able to plan personally, like for our personal plans, not being able to plan out like what we're going to do for the youth group and all that stuff. So it's been freaking me out a little bit.
Yeah. So kind of as you're kind of having these feelings and emotions, what role does your relationship with God kind of play, or how has it changed, or what are some things that have kind of popped into your head or in moments of life that maybe would be some encouragement for each of us?
Yeah, so I would say it wasn't until like I fully let go and just let God take control of what was actually happening and how I was feeling. Um, as a family, like to kind of help with that, we just started playing like worship music instead of watching Trudeau and Ford every day, 5 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. And so I found that that was really helpful, and just even just to turn off the TV for a little bit. And so this song "Take Courage" kept coming on, and every time I would hear it, I just found it super helpful and just super encouraging. And so the opening line of it actually says, "Slow down, take time, breathe in," he said. And so that line, every time I would listen to it, just really, really stuck out to me. And I just kept like saying it repeatedly in my head. And so like too often, I just find that we do go through life too fast, like us personally. And I don't know if any of you guys also feel that. But we don't really enjoy the little moments, and we sometimes forget to slow down, and we just want to get to like the weekend. And that's all that goes through our head during the week. And so something that God has really reminded me about during this time is just to slow down, enjoy those little moments together as a family, or even just alone. Like sometimes I just take a little bit longer in the bathroom getting ready and a break. But just slow down is really something that God's been reminding me. And so God has constantly been reminding me that it's okay to not have the house perfectly spotless 24/7, because we're literally here 24/7 right now. And so it's okay that there's train tracks and we're tripping over them. And it's okay to not eat at 5 o'clock every single day. And it's okay to eat at 6:30 instead. And so just enjoying the little moments and just kind of getting lost in the time right now is kind of nice. And it's just nice because when do we actually have this time where we're all together all the time, even though like we're working, but it's rare. So
Yeah. No, I think that's good. I was literally just reading a quote. It just popped up even on my timeline the other day where it's kind of talking about how, like the enemy, one of the things that he does, he doesn't have to necessarily take us out completely with something in our life, but one of the main things he does is just try to distract us. And if we stay distracted and we stay kind of thinking about kind of not being in line with what God's wanting us to do, or missing out on hearing Holy Spirit's voice and kind of those little moments of our day because we're worried or we're stressed or things are going on, then really that's where he wants us to be. And so the biggest thing for us is probably at Calvary Church is to kind of hear those words, is to say, we might have to take some moments to just slow down, because when we can slow down, we can actually realize that God is trying to, and he's not trying to, he's going to be able to redeem things in this season. I just love that word, redemption. Taking something that's coming at you that's meant for evil and turning it for good, to be able to actually come out, not just kind of say, okay, well, something happened. It's like, no, we actually use this to help save people. We actually use this to actually grow in my faith. And we can't do that unless we actually slow down and say, Holy Spirit, like, what do you want happening in this moment right now, this hour, sometimes hour by hour. And so I think that's going to be really helpful for some people today to hear. So thank you so much, Natalie, for your words and for kind of letting us in on your life a little bit. And again, train tracks on the floor, like, I think that's very normal. Like, we're going to have to maybe live with that for like a lot longer. So thank you so much, Natalie.
No problem.